Whatever it is.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Ellsworth Township Trustees to order. Roll call. Trustee Spellman. Present. Trustee Tillman.
Here.
Trustee Houston here. Also let it be known that Fiscal Officer Karen Gritty's here, and Zoning Inspector Wayne Sarna, and Fire Chief, and some other people. Want to welcome everybody here tonight. Good to see you. If you will all please join with me in the Pledge to Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the last July meeting.
And I'll second the motion.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes. Fiscal report.
As of today, our bank balance is $920,935.79. I issued a check to Ellis Construction for the the fire department pond project, and there was an additional $779.10 for a catch basin frame and grate. So that amount was included in the check. I'd like a motion to approve that expenditure.
I'll
We have
make.
already approved that.
No, that's the additional, remember?
Yeah, but we approved, at the one time, we approved over what we needed.
More than?
What was the dollar amount then? Do you know?
Didn't we approve something like at one time 18,000 something?
Yeah, but then there was a purchase of the pipe was separate. We cut that purchase of the pipe that we did on our own, right? So
Yeah,
it
that was
affected those
27.
numbers, moved around.
All
a
right,
little
well
bit.
then, I'll request a motion for the extra $779 for the catch basin.
Okay, I'll make the motion for the extra $779 to Ellis
And 10
Construction in 10 cents.
And I'll second that, Chairman.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes.
Thank you.
All right, now are we covered?
We
Yes,
have
we
covered.
did.
Okay.
I have not had any communications on the audit.
Okay.
I'm done.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I meant to ask you earlier today. Have you heard anything from Gaglione about that? When you asked her about the fire levy? Okay.
Yep.
Well, the next time Mr. Gaines spouts off about how he's a great leader and works with us, I'm going to ask him where our answer is.
Thank you, I'd appreciate that. It's only been, what, Bob, February?
Yeah.
It's nothing in 6 months.
What our chairman talked about, he certainly had a lot to say at the last dinner we had.
Yes. He'd been hanging there, broke his arms, patting himself on the back. Anyways,
Ditto.
maintenance report.
Our pavement crack sealing summer project is completed in Ellsworth Township. The drain pipe issue on Rolling Hills has been repaired, and couldn't do that without that purchase of that new backhoe that we purchased in January, so just want to say that piece of equipment come in handy. We had one burial in Ellsworth and 2 in Berlin Township. Armstrong Cable replaced the internet modem in the administration fire department building, so I think your internet service should be a little better over there. It was a problem. The pond clean-out project has been completed, and the pond pump for the fire department is installed, and now that the water's up to the draw pipe, I'm going to try to get a test run on that next week and see how that's working. The post office pad that's requested for the east side of the building is a 23 by 7. The approximate cost is going to be $750 to $850. I provided you a spec sheet from the postmaster. He's requesting 8-inch base and 6-inch concrete with rebar. We currently we have some more crack sealing to do with Berlin Township. We've had a problem with the machine, so we're trying to work through that, see if we can finish their project for this year. Again, the Sheriff's Department has done a fantastic job with traffic support anytime we've worked on the roads and major intersections. Office supplies, I'd like to go get some, I need some copy paper, and I'd like to get a mouse for that computer. It's going to make things a lot easier, especially when I start doing cemetery plotting, working on the cemetery maps on that cemetery program. I don't know what the cost of a mouse is, probably $20, you know, some paper. In the maintenance department, pressure washer. There's a pretty old one that came from Ohio State Patrol auction many years ago. Even Bill Sisler couldn't believe I was still using it this year. It has finally quit.
It was electric, right?
Yeah, it was an electric one. But you know, the other thought I came up with, and I talked to the chief today, maybe we should look into buying a electric hot water pressure washer, maybe one unit that we can share between both buildings and both departments. That would be like a steam cleaner. You know, it's still electric, but it's a steam cleaner. It's you know, it'll be kerosene fired, and then you'll get hot water. It'll be like a steam jenny. And we could do floors, we could do the trucks. And I know Bob liked that idea. That would help him out, especially with the salt and the oil on the floors and things like that. So I don't know if you want to, you know, just want me to stick with buying something for $200-300, or you want me to, you know, want Bob and I to start looking into maybe something combined and maybe talk about it at the next meeting?
I would say get some prices, wouldn't you?
That's a place to start. Good
Yeah,
place to
I would say get some prices both ways. You two get together and make sure you agree on whatever you're looking at, and get us the prices, and then we'll go from there.
Is it something that we need tomorrow? I mean, we can live without a pressure washer for a while. And
I certainly think that, you know, through ODOT, one of those seminars was talking about the certain the preservation of equipment because of the brine use in brake lines and trucks. And I know a couple of years ago we've been staying up on that truck as far as rust spots and getting underneath it. You know,
right.
It may serve for good ideas. Cost money. You know, real good ideas cost a lot of money. So we'll have to look at what we can do with it. But price is the best place to start.
Okay. Well, I'll work on that. Try to get some numbers for the next meeting.
I have one question.
Yes.
You said about the pond is done. Is there any seeding that we have to do, or is it? I thought there was some seeding that we had to do.
Potentially.
Yeah, there's a little bit of seeding.
Nothing major, yeah.
Okay, well, when you said it was done, I thought maybe it got seeded and I didn't realize it or something.
Well, also on that seeding, we're going to look at, I know, and I talked to Berlin Township, they're actually wanting to finish, they added a new road, and they were talking about we need a rock hound or, you know, I don't know, a Harley rake. Maybe that's something that we can share to do around our pond, rent that piece of equipment, because it will fit on our Kubota, not their big tractor, but it'll fit on our Kubota. Rent the piece of equipment, split the cost, share it, you know, do their work, do our work, and then, because they're in the same boat, they need to do some seeding, and that would make the job a lot easier.
It's still settling, so we have a little time yet.
Oh, yeah,
before the end of
Well, and that's all he said about it was complete, and
Well, the pond itself.
Yeah.
The Ellsworth
Yeah, we need a
is
little dressing up to
completed.
do yet, but.
Well, I
for the
think
major part.
the chair's on a really good idea because there's only a short season that you plant grass and then you get the germination. You want it to grow before, certainly,
Correct,
you know, and that closes in the middle of September.
right.
yeah, you generally plant grass middle of August to middle of September.
Right, correct. So, okay, then we'll look at that.
Are you gonna go buy paper?
Yeah, I'll pick up paper and
What, are you gonna pick up, what, one ream?
I'll just pick up a couple, that's all.
Okay,
And then we'll
because
have-
I'm down to almost halfway with my last ream of paper.
I'm getting down
Can you do a box of it?
And I just bought paper over here, so if you buy 2, maybe 3.
Or do you want, I mean, I'll go pick it, if I'm going up, I mean, I'll get it and I'll put it in the,
And Bob, you
Yeah, why don't
need
we just
some?
buy a box and so we can all...
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, cases.
Yeah.
all
I'm
right.
thinking
Well, you want
2.
me to just go like the Office Max and get a case of,
Oh, I would
But-
get at least 2, maybe 3, because we use it here. Wayne uses it, Bob uses it, I have it, you have it. What do you think?
It's going to
I've-
be used, I mean, it's not
I've
like...
gone through 2 boxes.
It don't go bad.
I
Oh, milk.
have gone through 2 boxes this year, just at this. And I have, if I may, another question. Your crypt keeper,
Yeah.
that program, how does it back up? Does it back up to the computer?
Mm-mm.
It's off-site.
Okay.
It's-
I didn't
it's
know
on
if you
there.
need, it's on
Yeah.
another, okay, I didn't know if you needed a, yeah.
No.
No, it backs up, however, it's actually resident on their,
Okay,
It's in their server.
yeah, it's in their server, that's what, I
Okay.
couldn't think of the word server, yeah, it's in their server, so.
okay.
Well, how many boxes do you want me to pick up?
Cases?
Yeah, I mean cases.
I would get at least 3.
Okay, I'll get 3 and then, they'll be in, I'll put them in the maintenance office and you tell me how you want to distribute them.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else?
No.
No? Okay.
And that's it. Any questions?
No, I think we'll talk about the post office business a little later.
Okay.
That's all right with everybody?
Sure.
Okay, zoning report.
My last report was July 9th, 2014. Since that date, I wrote 1 permit for a single-family dwelling, 54 by 50. The address is 8530 North Palmyra Road, Campfield, Ohio, 44406, with a 2-car garage. Second permit for a single-family dwelling at Deal Lake. Dimensions on that, 60 by 42. The address of the property is 11225 North Kiwatani Trail. I believe it's Berlin Center, 44401. Wrote 1 temporary directional sign permit for 2 signs for Campfield Swap Meet. Location of the signs, 10960 West Akron Campfield Road, Campfield, Ohio. Also a temporary directional sign permit to Ellsworth Dairy Farm, 1 sign at 6452 Elk Road, Campfield, Ohio. And 1 temporary directional sign permit, address 12798 Akron Campfield Road, North Jackson, Ohio. Also working on a zoning permit for the Coon Hunters Club. I should have that written by tomorrow. The permit will be issued and the fee will be collected. I did a follow-up on some complaints at 9739 West Hill Drive. I checked that house. The swimming pool is drained. The health department did issue a report that was a violation, that the swimming pool is full of water. The grass had been cut. The neighbor that did issue the complaint was satisfied that something was happening to that house, so the bank evidently was taking action. So I'll follow up this month to see where they're at with it. Also reviewing the Sportsman's Club variance as to the oral complaint that I had. I don't have a written complaint on it. So I just wanted to make my file complete as far as the variance that was issued and as far as building permit. I believe that was issued in 2012. I did pursue a complaint at 11728 Deal Road, North Jackson, Ohio, 44451, as to dumping and burning. I sent letters to the owner. That letter was returned. So I took a look. I found 2 new addresses. Those letters went out. So far, those have not been back. And I did issue a health department complaint on my own for Ellsworth Township have the health department get involved as far as burning and dumping. It was a 97-acre property, and evidently the dumping and burning is way back. So I'd rather have the zoning or the health department go back there and take a look. Yeah, and I'll keep tabs on as far as that complaint. But I did issue the complaint. I did sign the complaint as Ellsworth Township zoning inspector on that. I do have one toner receipt. I paid for toner in the June, and I just didn't turn it in at July's meeting. And that receipt was for the HP printer, and the receipt is for $25.66. The other printer's okay, but this printer is the one I make copies on, so it's used more.
Then I need a motion to pay.
Yeah, Chairman, I can make a motion for pay $25.66 to reimburse the zoning inspector for office supplies.
I'll second the motion for the reimbursement.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Toman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes.
Thank you.
That it?
That's it.
Fire report.
Since our last meeting, we responded to 1 structure fire, 1 good intent call, 2 service calls, 1 false alarm, 13 EMS calls, 2 motor vehicle crashes, and we had 7 EMS transports. For cleaning maintenance runs, fire prevention drills, our total monthly firefighter hours was 290. First of all, I'd like to thank and give kudos to Wayne for quick response. We've had an area that we've had several complaints on. We've responded to several times with burning complaints, open burning, unintended burning, burning trash. We responded out there, and with the sheriff's department, I don't know how many times, but I called Wayne, and then within 2 days I received a letter that had been mailed out, and I talked to him. Like I said, he already called the health department, so I appreciate his fast action. Hopefully we can get this resolved, and because we're getting complaints from people clear on Palmyra Road about the burning, because the odor goes into their homes. So anyways, so like I said, we've had the sheriff out there, and we've been out there, and so hopefully we can get the mess cleaned up. So, but anyways, getting back to if I may, Chair, we had a meeting with the rep from ISO. If I may address the crowd, because I know I've gotten some questions I've received some questions from the community on our ISO rating, what it means, what do we have to do, is my insurance going to go down, whatever. Am I going to get checks back? Well, Captain Smith and I and Captain Igo from the fire department we attended a meeting with a representative from ISO. We did our grading, and how it works is it's not, the insurance companies don't necessarily recognize it as ISO. They recognize it as what's called PPC, Public Protection Class. We were Class 9 out of the Public Protection Class. Now we're a Class 5. We're in anything below a 9 is in the Public Protection Class. So your ratings will automatically drop. Now, what will happen is every insurance company in the state of Ohio gets this PPC. Every insurance company. So if your insurance company tells you they don't get one, he suggested that you go look for another insurance company. So, because what will happen is, he comes out, how the whole scenario works. They come out and do our rating. They sit down with us and grade us. We do this information. He sends us information, his calculations into the ISO office in New Jersey. That ISO office then puts these, these numbers in a computer, and it registers what our rating for Ellsworth, Township, Ohio would be. Okay? Then that rating, they check his figures and go over all this, and then that rating then goes to the state. The state then submits it to every insurance company. Then they send it to the fire department and the townships. We're the last ones to know, which I didn't know that. So we're the last ones to have gotten the rating. So it's been through all the checks and balances. We do, and I spoke to some people in the community that they're already getting lower rates. Now, one thing could happen is when I talked to my agent, she said that across the board, because of the snow and the hurricanes that have been, the pass through, and storms and all the catastrophes that have happened, the insurance rates are going to go up. So what could happen is what this could mean for us, the homeowners, depending on your insurance company, you may not see a decrease in rate, but everybody else's is going to go up. Yours might not change. So your savings might be just not getting the increase in rates. So like whoever, if a community has a 9, let's say their rates go up, $100 a year, yours are going to stay the same. So that's another way it could operate as well. So we are a 9. We are a 5, and we like I said, we were a 9, went to a 5, and so I just wanted to make sure, is there anything else that needs to add that he talked about? Because we were kind of confused on how, we weren't sure how that worked, and we wanted to get, and I, appreciate the work that David done. It's like, call this guy day and night, all hours of the day, questions, and he's picked up his phone, he's called me back. He come out, made a special trip out here to meet with us, sit down and go over the grading system. So it was, it was worthwhile. So I just wanted to tell the folks that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Very much.
Sure. So you should see a definite, and the other thing too, he said, what makes it an improvement is, let's say, a business looks at a community that says they have a 7 rating. Well, we have a 5 rating. So they're going to come to our community because their insurance rates are going to be lower. And homeowners, building, I always get calls about what our rating is. Okay? And so this is, going to encourage, them to move out here as well. So, or the people to, our kids to build here too. So, anyway, I have to do our annual update of our fire program software program. So this is how we send reports to the state. Okay, and we've done this every year. So it's $540. They give us the new software, and it's so we can do our, like I said, this is the program that allows us to send our fire reports to the state. So it's $540. And I have two requests, one from Tom DePorcer, one from Joe DePorcer, to take a fire class each, and the prices are there: $385 for Tom's, $515 for Joe's. And we have 2 other firefighters in training right now in our firefighter 1, but their classes were offered to us for free. So we're not paying for, so that's, so. And the last item is the pressure washer. We talked about, I know Ted's brought his down to our station, Dave Igo, Brian, they brought their own pressure washers to clean the grease off the floor. We've cleaned the walls and stuff like that. So I guess if we had a shared pressure washer, it would, make a difference. So, other than that, that's all I have. So.
Can I comment?
Sure.
Okay, just a quick question. What kind of classes are they going to be taking?
Okay, the Joe DeForester is going to take, He's going to take an inspector class. Tom Toporser is going to, he's into, what is it, incident command.
Yeah, it was incident command something.
So these are just freestanding classes, not the beginning of something long-term? Or
Correct.
Just kind of an update?
Just one, it's just a one-time class.
Okay. And I was going to suggest that perhaps if you could come up with some kind of packet to give to Wayne, just a form maybe synopsizing the ISO rating and the benefits to settling here, and he has all the prospective
Oh, yeah.
people building houses and
Sure.
calls. He could give it to them, and maybe that would...
Sure. And the other thing, I think it's a good suggestion, already suggested about putting, because I said about, we're talking about, I've been, writing letters for people in the community about, like our reduction in our ISO rating. And I think what we're going to do is put it on our, suggested that we put it on our website, the fire department website, and then, already said put it in the roundup, and then we can put it on your website as well. I think it'd be beneficial. The more communication we get out with with the public, I think the better. And if they print off that form letter, and then they can send it into their insurance company, and then we can leave our contact information on that, and they can call me direct.
Sure. Well, it might be a good start for you. We always talked about a little packet for people coming and bragging about the community and
Yeah.
showing a few things. So it'd be a good place to start, maybe, just a little something. Okay.
Okay?
And Tracy wouldn't have trouble putting on that?
No.
He's
No.
good.
She hasn't had any trouble yet.
No.
Always the first time, I guess.
And again, I'd like to thank her for all the work she
Yeah,
does for us.
some,
Because
got
there's a
some
lot of
pictures
work
and
keeping the
she
website.
keeps adding to it.
She gets paid for it.
Ask her.
She does it on company time. so-
Ellsworth Township, make that disclaimer.
No, not to the township. She's, let's just say she's somewhat compensated.
Okay.
And I'd like to make a motion for these purchases of the total of, what it is, $1,400 for the 2 classes and the operating supplies that we currently need.
I'll second the motion for the $1,400 for the fire department.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes. Okay. EMS reports.
Like Chief said, we had 7 EMS transports. We did have 13 calls total for medicals. 3 of them were refusals and lanes covered because we didn't have manpower. Lanes covered 3 of our calls for us. We're in the process, I spoke with Chief earlier, and over the last couple of weeks, we're in the process of increasing our EMS personnel. So we're looking into getting more people so we could actually cover all the time is projected outcome. I know that sometimes that's impossible to do with everybody working, being volunteer, but we're in the process of trying to cover. Thankfully, Lane's backs us up, and Chief Pugh says that'll always happen, so at least the township is covered. I submitted a EMS supplies bill for $492.50 for 2 pen care. That's for our consumables for our squad. And then I also gave her a Verizon bill for the air card for the cardiac monitor.
That was $15, Brian?
I believe it's $15 and some change.
When we can get some real numbers, we'll make these approvals. What was that, 400 for the meds and...
$492.50 for the supplies.
$1,509 for the Verizon.
$15.09.
That would be the only 2 hard bills I have. And then Quest sends you bills directly, so.
Yeah, we got that.
And then I'd like to make some changes with the computers at the station. I believe in the past, at one point, that we had approved a computer for the EMS office. I don't know if that was, I can't remember if we approved it or not, but I'd like to get one for the EMS office. The front desk at the station needs replaced, and we were running on the computer that was in the squad for the, what were they, the government computers?
Yeah, the laptops.
The laptops. That is giving us issues with the software that's in it. It's locking us off the air card that's on the squad.
They came to us as a package, and with all the pre-planned information, the bottom line, it's not going to work for what we need to do.
It's throwing us off the air card because it's set up to go to a direct modem to county.
So we want to keep those on the trucks, those laptops, and we just want to take that
Yeah,
out
we're
of
just
court
taking the air
and get a
card
new
out,
computer to
basically.
be compatible with this air card in your office and desk.
Different computer,
Different computer. But what I would like to do is, they sell a computer with a modem in it, and I made a phone call into our Verizon rep because we're a government entity. Like the air card that we currently have, it was free to us. So what I would like to do is see if I can get a laptop through Verizon that would either be free or minimal cost, and get rid of the air card and have the computer with the air card internal. That way it's self-contained and it's made to work with itself. So I don't have hard numbers on them because I'm still checking into details. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. That's what I'm looking to do. So over the next couple weeks here, I'd like to get some hard numbers to you and get approval for a new computer for the EMS office, which I believe was approved before. One for the front desk so the crews can finish their charts and we can get everything scanned in, and then one for the squad so they can do the chart on the call.
Are you wanting something approved tonight, or are you going to come back next month with the actual cost?
I don't have hard numbers, so I can't say, if I could get them approved to get the numbers and get the cheapest possible and go ahead and purchase them, that would be great, but I don't know if you guys want to do that or not. I mean, I'm going to do some research, but...
Yeah, he's saying we should get some numbers probably. There's no time issue. Crush. Serious.
The sooner the better.
Yeah, I know. Could I wait till next month, get us the things and get it, or do you want to approve it? How much do you guess it's going to cost? Let's put it.
One computer's approved.
One computer's
Yeah, okay. How much was the dollar amount for that one?
I don't remember, that's why I was asking.
That was last year. We didn't have the office then, and we didn't want to
Correct.
clutter it and ruin a good computer with all the construction.
Correct, and we elected to start running on the computer in the truck. And now, since that's given us issues, I'd like to address there.
Well, if somebody can give us, not to exceed this much, I think we could help you, but we need some kind of a number.
If I may interrupt, if he has something in his budget, if he stays within his budget, shouldn't he be able to, you know what I'm saying?
It still has to be approved.
Approved.
So, yeah, because it's going to be over a couple $100.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
it still has to be approved.
I got you.
Maybe with these wondrous phones you have in your hand, maybe you can figure something up before the end of the meeting. We'll revisit.
Well, it all depends on that laptop for the squad from Verizon. If I can get it for free, that your numbers
Well,
will be
then
much
figure
cheaper.
it not being free and put a number on something.
Okay.
Give us a number that not to exceed, and we can probably, don't give me a price of, well, I know it won't go over 10,000 because we're not going to get that. But you give us some kind of a realistic number, and I think we can work with you.
Realistically, I would say, going probably on the extreme, probably $5,000 for all three. But the one for the squad with the modem in it, it's considered a tough book. It's basically waterproof, it's drop proof, and they warranty that. So, it's not just a regular laptop you can just get in an office.
I was going to ask, is this something that could come out of the equipment levy?
Well,
No.
we don't
Not
know.
for
No,
EMS.
Oh, not for
We won't
EMS.
be able to turn around here.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, this is CMS, and the equipment levy's fire.
What's their budget setting like?
Oh, I didn't bring my reports with me.
I think I got it right here.
I'll get you numbers.
Yeah, I would think
All right.
if it's not
Let's-
critical,
yeah.
buy the one that you already got approved for, if you can figure out how
Yeah.
much.
Can you, Chair, if he comes up with a number before the end of the meeting, can you ask for the Chair's attention?
Yeah.
And we'll discuss it.
Probably won't happen, but yeah, that's fine. To be honest with you.
Well, like you say, if you've got the approval to get the one, you can get it.
Fund balance in EMS right now is $61,548.16.
Okay, but how is that broken down?
The budget, no, I don't have the budget with me.
This is all,
But
She's talking
it's broken
what's
down.
office, what's
How much
computer.
is office, yeah,
Office supplies. I
Because you
don't,
have a section there for that.
Well, and I guess did the computer come under office supply, or does it come under,
I would think in
equipment
there,
or whatever?
it could come under equipment and machinery, but it could come under office supplies.
or it could
Brian, if
come
you got
under-
something tonight, that would
Or it
have.
could come under other, because there is a miscellaneous account.
Yeah, but right now,
Trying
I'm
to
sitting here
figure-
kind of not knowing, so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've thrown 5 out there on the top end. You know, that's up to you guys, but I can get hard numbers.
Computers have come down a lot. It sounds kind of pricey, but I don't.
Well, that's what I
it doesn't
kind of
sound
thought,
like
but
pricey.
then you realize the one that you're saying is special, but.
Correct. I mean,
used to
the
be-
desktops, you know, you can get a decent desktop for $700, $800, $900. And then the one for the squad.
That's been improved in the past. We can say yes to that tonight. I'm thinking that way, right?
Correct.
Yeah, if it's been approved in the past, why, we don't have to do anything with it.
The one that's
Pending
pricey
dollar amount.
is the top book for the squad, which I'm trying to get free through Verizon through the government entity. The one for the top book for the squad's $3,000. I know that for a fact. That's why I just threw it out
Yes, I
on.
see the 5.
Well, in light of hearing the free word, it might be good to check into it a little bit.
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know to what entity they do that, so.
Okay.
I think the best thing is to just, you can go ahead and get the one, it's been approved, and get us the hard numbers on the other one.
Okay.
Check into the free stuff.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna spend money that. I
And
can get
and knowing
something
that's
cheaper.
coming, then we'll look at the budget and see if we have to change anything to cover it.
I should have, because I put that in because I knew those computers were coming, so,
But I don't have it in front of me how it's broke down, so I can't
Understand.
tell you that. I apologize for that, but.
not a problem.
Last thing, Brian, you're an IT guy, but this router, we'll run that through. That router can handle, that was our Achilles heel with that building done the way it is. It's hard to
Correct.
bounce on signals.
And they did change the wireless router at the station, which is good. It had a hiccup, I mean, somebody locked it. We found the passcode for it and we unlocked it. But, I spoke with you that one night on it because all of our computers were locked off of it. So I went, got the passcode, we wrote it on the board and we're good there again. But,
Maybe we should include another router in that price, that we have one that we just can't have that thing sitting there and it being dead and holding up all these
but-
things.
No, I mean, it's working fine now.
a lot of it was an old modem.
Correct. So with that in there, that is working good, and that's where we're finding out that the desktop in the front lobby, it's not connecting to the new modem anymore. I mean, it's the wireless card in that unit, or the communication card is wiped out of the computer. We can't even, yeah, it's old. I mean, I believe it's XP.
Goodness.
Well, it might be why it's not working.
So that explains.
Well, you go ahead and get the one, no
Okay.
doubt about that, and get us
Okay.
some hard numbers on the rest of it. And we'll go from there.
Mhm.
And try to get us some numbers before next meeting.
Oh,
Get them
exactly.
to me or somebody,
Sure. I was just
so that we can verify that, where we can take it out.
Okay, so I have 1,000 for the one, if, I believe, 800, I don't remember what
I
the
don't
numbers were.
remember, I'm not even sure we put a number on it.
There was.
Was
I
there?
think we did that meeting.
Do you have a guesstimate when?
I was gonna say it, I thought it was around 1,000 or 1,200, and I thought maybe it had to include a printer.
Correct, yeah, it was because we were a scanner printer with it. That's why it was a
pretty
little
sure,
higher.
yeah, it was like computer scanner.
You don't remember when?
Like the last September.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna say it was
October,
a year ago.
November,
sometime.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking in 2013.
Correct, yeah, it was
Right.
prior to, before this board.
I'll go home and look. I'll shoot you an email.
Let me know.
It was the,
Deal?
We're still.
We need a motion.
motion for,
Two bills.
Supplies and
yeah, for
Verizon.
that. Need a motion?
Motion for
507.59?
507. I'll make a motion for 507.59 for medical supplies and a Verizon bill. Is that right?
It's
I
517.59?
think I had
No,
507.
507. 507.59.
I added it too.
492 and 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Outvoted.
Okay. I'll second that.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes. Okay. Committee report. Bob?
Well, we're still working on air conditioning prices, getting bids. It's kind of hard to get prices from everybody. It's a long, drawn-out process, but they're coming in slowly. So hopefully by next time, we'll have some hard numbers.
Did you get that one I sent?
Yeah, I got that one today.
Today?
Yeah, from WW?
Yeah.
And same thing with the sign. We're trying to update the signs, but it seems like nobody wants to give us a price. So we're trying, and hopefully we'll accelerate the process somehow and get that going.
They're good at the sales pitch and
Well, I don't know.
about the numbers.
They
right?
come out, we show them everything. It takes forever to get them here. Then it was probably
Hold back on
a
the
month and a
numbers.
half ago.
Yeah, well, so that one company came out, we both met with them.
Yeah, nothing happened.
We'll get
So-
something to you right away.
So we're working on that. What other project? Well, the lake project came along pretty good. It's filling up slowly, and we did notice there were some pipes, I think, that we talked about need maybe some downspouts might need added on to. Teddy found those for us.
The thing about that lake is I thought maybe some fish habitat while that water was down, you know. I don't want to interfere with the fire, but the other end of the lake, you know, some things that you do while the water's down.
What other project? Yeah.
I don't make a fishing hole, but it balancing out the lake and keep it clean. You know, you want some aquatic life in it.
Any suggestion? Teddy probably knows. Huh? Something we could throw in the bottom of the lake to old pallets or something?
Old pine trees, right?
Pallets?
You said the wrong
The
thing.
pallets? I can donate some pallets if they need some.
Yeah, the lake.
Pallets, pine trees.
Cement blocks. Anything to where the little fish can get in and hide.
We hear somebody's working on 3 of his lakes.
Two when they're done.
Okay, other than that, let's see. Well, I was going to talk about the post office, but I guess we'll do that later. Great. Good. That's pretty much it for me.
All right, Chair, I had, being the trustee that's been through this in the past, the fair display, certainly there's a work detail that they set up for next August 21st. They asked about our maintenance department, and I'm sure you mentioned that too, so we've allowed our people in the past, our maintenance guy, to go there for an hour or two and help set up a wall over there, so. And then our display is the last one in and the first one out, so we'll work on that. Did talk to the Historical Society. Here's the problem with our fair display. We probably get the most attention to it at the fair because of the uniqueness about it. People love the historical presentation that it makes, and then the pictures of it. What has happened though is they made the plan had like these gromlets that drilled in, and you would put the screw in, and they would bite into that hollow core door, which it's made of these hollow core doors. When you would tighten down on plexiglass, then you would pull those back out. So they've been glued in. We took a look at them the other night, and there's residuals in the paint, and it really looks bad that we don't have that painted over. So Historical Society thought, you know, that they would like to put some of their pictures in only a few of those panels. This board, I think we should put our print on it, that the past project we did, the current project, and the future projects. I think that's been mentioned at the last meeting. I think we ought to save a couple of those panels. But before we do any of that, I think we need to paint those panels. And I'd like to talk to our maintenance person. Historical Society said they have their pictures, and if we could get a few of those panels ready, next Monday night they would like to come up there, and this is open to anybody in the community or trustees, community, that we go out there and they want to fix up a few of those. I have some ideas about, they actually have some copper paint. If our display is white with a copper top on it, it kind of has a neat thing to it. They wanted to paint the panels blue, like an antique blue, and paint that copper on the edges of it. It really look good, so. Work detail next Monday. They already stripped down their panels at the Historical Society. Fire department, you have one of those panels? In our township, we have 4 of those up there now, Matt. I think we've seen those trustees when we walk by. So,
When is that detail?
next Monday night, Historical Society.
There's only one problem. Matt's off the rest of the week, so when's it going to be painted?
Well, even as work detail, we thought we'd paint those, Chairman, that night if we had all the stuff together.
Oh, you're gonna paint them?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
Do
you
you want
were.
to paint them in the maintenance building?
But we have those holes and we have that ugly glue on them, so there has to be some, thought of a thin set or masking tape, and then we paint them, and then next year we address it in a more permanent way, Looking for my kind of hardware kind of guys to come up with some ideas, and our maintenance person. But bringing a couple set of sawhorses, Fred and Bob, we'll put them up there and we'll paint them.
Sure.
I
What
thought
time-
about
what
doing
time?
that Sunday or Monday.
Is there a designated time?
Designated time? 6 o'clock there.
6 o'clock?
Monday
6
night.
o'clock next Monday?
Yeah, Historical Society has early bedtimes.
I can understand.
I'm getting there too, Fred, I'm getting there too
I
myself.
understand that.
So, appreciate help. I'll come up there maybe tomorrow, Friday night, and take a look at it with you. Any ideas about those things? I think, you took some pictures, we can put a current picture.
I have a lot of pictures, yeah. We're going to give our maintenance department the presence it deserves. And can I go on just real quick?
Yeah.
I talked to the sheriff's department. They're also very interested in updating theirs with new pictures and promoting the substation we have here. So we're working on that. Plus, they're going to give us some signs that we talked about on the front. They're going to have some new ones made up so we could change it around and let people know that there is a sheriff's office here, and we do have protection.
And they're gonna take care of that? They're gonna take care
Yeah,
of that?
they're going to do they're going to pay for the cost of the sign. I told them we'd put them up if they brought us the signs.
Very good.
Other than that, because I think we have to do what we could for the sheriff's department, being the only police department that we have, so they do a good job and we appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
And that's it, Fred, I might ask a couple pictures. Tracy might have a couple. I know she's put them on her website. It really looks good. Picture says a lot of things, so we'll get that. Then the Porta-John, our contract with them has expired for the handicap one, so we'll get the word to baseball, but, we put it there and did our portion of that. They just said, as a renew, to let them know early, or if any other needs, they would keep us in mind. Being in the oil and shale and the upswing in construction here, they've been in demand, so we were lucky to get it, and they said that they would reserve the thought of putting us at the front of the line if we need it for more. So, Karen, they said they had a bill, but an invoice, but disregard that coming, that she's already taken it out of their system, so if you get something in the mail, Tom?
Yeah, you guys will get it.
Okay, we'll see it first, and we'll mark.
Yeah.
Not
So
applicable.
Disregard, okay.
The last thing I had, the junior firefighters, we asked about a TARM to give us information. They only sent us 77 pages of information. We needed a yes or no, and can we put young, people a certain age and where they're, and they left it yes, no, maybe so kind of thing for us to disseminate. So we got to look that over a little bit more. And then the Lordstown chief said he would come to one of our meetings and an invitation by all 3 trustees. That's the way he wanted to do it, and I agree with that. So if we look at that over a little bit more, we may have time in October. We get through this little summer burst that we have. You may invite them, okay, Chair?
Sure.
And then the land use plan, I'd like to thank all the trustees for jumping in and helping out, and Wayne for catching up here. It's going to be coming out, and of course our zoning commission has led that with a consultant. So they might be asking us to make another public notice sometime in October, November, a public meeting to roll this thing out, the final draft. We've got 2 drafts now on that land use plan. A couple of them been updated.
They've been putting a lot of work into it, so
A lot of work.
coming along.
Did you say you had something else?
That's it.
Yeah, well, I was going to do that, but when would it be appropriate to ask Karen about this? I'm just curious about this check we received from Dearborn.
I've been trying to get a hold of these people, and I can't get anybody that can...
It seems like
This is the
the...
company I remember you and I talked about?
Yeah.
And
So,
you...
is that the one, I talked to them, I got a hold of one of them, and they wouldn't talk to me too much because I'm not the administrator and we don't...
Well, who is?
Well, I don't know.
I think
I'm
Kurt
kinda
was.
new.
I mean, it
Kurt
seems-
Morrison was, but I don't know.
They wouldn't tell me who it was. I rattled off names and said, tell me if
Wasn't he?
one of these is
No,
good.
he took care of health insurance.
Oh, okay.
And I really
She
think,
said, but what I did learn from that was that we are in a group with the other townships, and they were all canceled and issued reimbursements, and we are the last one to get a check. And I recall we just sent them a check not too long ago.
Yeah.
So I got that much out of it. But,
And so everybody, well, you did better than I did.
well, I don't know. I just tried being nice, that's all. you know.
Well, I... Are you implying
No, I didn't say, I just said I was being nice with them, and they cooperated. I don't know how you handle them, I'm just saying that.
He certainly did, didn't he? Both of them. Yeah.
But anyway, apparently, does it go through Otarma or something with that?
Your guess is as good as mine. Now, see, our number, and it's not on here, was, our group number is MH. So
Mahoney County.
that's what I'm thinking. But who's the so we've all been canceled. So does that mean we are now looking for life insurance?
Well, I don't know, that's what I was asking you, if you knew anything
Well,
about
your
it.
guess is as good as mine,
Okay.
because since I took office, I've been trying to get somebody to explain this to me. Because from the beginning, I thought that the premium being paid was incorrect. Because if you looked at the calculation, it was supposed to be $50 per person. But the previous fiscal officer had been paying $50 per month. It actually, with 5 people on it, should have been the $250 that I submitted.
Is that per month? Or per-
Yes.
Oh, really?
Because 5 people at $50 a month premium comes to $250. If you look at the paperwork that you send in with it, the calculation breaks down so much per unit, and then you have 5 units.
Well, if we can find any information about that, I'll be glad to see if I can make some more phone calls and
I
get a little
would, I would
further.
really appreciate,
Yeah.
you seem to be going at it better than I am.
Well, it was just by accident, I'm sure. But
well, what I'm hearing, a couple of things, there's the Township Association, they may call it Mahoney County, but we have our local Mahoney County Township Association. So we 14 Township do work with Otarma, we do buy through Kayla Fleming, we have some people, they search out life insurance policies, term, whatever the requests are. And I think they were doing that for all of Mahoney County, and somehow everybody get kicked out. When you hear 14, what you just said,
Yeah, that's it.
everybody got thrown out
I
at
don't
the same
understand
time
why
for
we're... yeah,
some reason.
It sounds like they might...
It doesn't
have
sound like an
changed.
Ellsworth problem, it sounds like Ellsworth's included in a bigger problem. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
okay.
key is to find out who the contact person was and the administrator.
Again, they won't talk to anybody that
And
isn't the
then,
administrator.
If you talk to the Mahoning County group, would they know?
Well, they might, perhaps. That's why I was asking if it was through Otarma or somebody
Did
else.
you try talking to any of the other fiscal officers?
Yeah, maybe they know. about it.
No,
You
because
might-
I will make
If
a few
it's,
phone calls.
yeah, you might get a lot more information if you just talk to a couple of the other
They did say
fiscal
the
officers.
coverage quit on December 31st. I remember that part, too.
Oh,
So,
And that's coincidentally at a term of election cycle where the people termed out, people got
we thought
voted
there was
out.
some confusion with that, but that didn't seem to be the case. That's when I found out all the townships were out, so I really don't know, but we gotta, give me
Okay.
whatever you have, I'll try, you try, find
Okay.
somebody.
That
Maybe we
sounds good.
should compose a
Is
letter and all
this
sign.
Mike, you keeping this? It's-
Well, I sent you the original, that was just a
Yes,
copy.
I have the original, you have notes on the back.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
maybe that's, maybe it was a closed December, self-administered group, do not see administrator check from premium. Joseph Barak is the broker, I found that out.
And where is he?
I don't know who he is. Barrett. That's all she told me. Ours is the last one to cancel. I spoke with Yolanda on 8/4.
It really sounds like it's a Mahoning County Township Association problem, it's not an Ellsworth problem.
Well, if
So
you
we just gotta
recall-
find out where we're at with it. I think that's what we got.
The letter was forwarded to us from the prosecutor's
Yeah, it went to the,
office.
that's, the note on it from the front was, that's why it was delayed, because the check was actually written, oh, there's a good one. The check to us was written in July.
Yes.
We got the
And
mail.
we just got the mail, I mean, it's just, and it went to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor sent us saying, we don't know what this is about, it was sent to us by mistake, so. And it says the reason was, it was with just so everybody knows, Dearborn National, refund premium, denied reinstatement.
I know what it means to Shelley and I, if I kick the bucket, you get nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. That, since I'm on a roll, I might as well, can I go with one of them?
Sure. Go ahead.
Something else, and I'll just bring up
I'm
the,
sorry, what?
okay. Well, I was just gonna go on, change the subject a little bit, but
Oh,
something
okay.
else. The letter we got from Frank Gates, or actually Paul, no, Paul Gates says, Frank Gates about our group rating has ended. The
Yes.
discounted rate, just so everybody knows, that we're now paying increased premiums for workers' comp.
Yes.
See, last year, we thought that was going to happen, remember, Marty? And we went ahead and filled out the paperwork and sent in the premium and everything, and we were okay for last year. But this year,
And it was right, Karen, by us doing that, it kind of locked us in for that 6 more months to get to
Yes.
this year, and now the review has hit us where we're going to be paying
Big bucks.
big bucks.
Big
Yeah,
bucks.
for
so we
the-
need to remember
Starting
that at the
January.
beginning of the year for appropriations.
All right, that,
Yes.
and the last thing I'll bring up was we received a rather healthy check from Armstrong Cable Company.
Yes, that's our, oh, we have received a letter from Armstrong, and you gentlemen passed it to me, and there was no comment on it. And when I read the letter, we were to respond, did we want to continue to receive the franchise fees? So I hurried up and called them and said, yes, of course we do, knowing that it's $13,000.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
I
what that was.
responded yes to the letter, and I asked, what do you need from me? And because the deadline was coming close at hand, and I faxed them a response, it's in my file, that yes, we didn't want the franchise fees. If we did not respond, we weren't going to get it.
Was there something in lieu of fees that they would give us, or?
No.
No, that
You
seems like an
either-
odd question. Do you want the money or
You
not?
either get the fees or you get nothing.
Okay, well, we must have missed
So I did
that.
take care of
Thank
it.
Good job on that, Karen.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
good.
Thank you.
Snuck past us. Okay.
Okay?
I haven't seen a check like that, and Chairman, I haven't seen a check like that in a long time, so.
No, we did last year too.
Yeah, we?
Yeah, we did.
Boy, there's my memory. Go ahead.
No, I want to do my committee report.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, on my committee report. I just want to, I've been working with Bob, and after I thought about it, I think I really need a motion to get rid of that hose dryer because it is township property.
You're talking Bob, Fire Department Bob, okay.
Yeah, Fire Department Bob. So what I'd like is a motion to scrap that hose dryer, and then we talked about putting that room underneath the steps there so that they can move everything out of the room so that we can get the room next to Wayne. And I think we ought to be able to put it up for about $500 at the max. I don't think it'd be any more. So what I'm asking for is a motion to get rid of the hose dryer, scrap it, and then spend up to $500 to put that room up for 'em.
Let's make it $750, and that way we can wire it and put some lights in it, make it safe, fire safe, we may get to,
Yeah, that's right.
I'd like to make a motion then, first of all, to deem that the scrap, and that might be heavy enough to pay the $750. I mean, that's a heavy thought. And then spend up to $750 to make that room a viable room.
Okay, I'll second the motion for the $750.
Thank you.
Fire Department.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Tillman?
Yes.
Trustee Houston, yes. And I just also wanted to say about the lake project turned out pretty good. Thanks for everybody, and I think Greg Ellis deserves a little bit, if anybody sees him, deserves a little bit of a thank you. He got it done in like a whirlwind, and his prices were the best, so anybody that sees Greg, I think they ought to say thank you. And that's all I have for committee report. Old business, we've kind of kicked the lake all around, so that ought to be done. New business. We're going to talk about the cement pad and the post office business. Don't know how many of you were at the meeting last night. It was kind of an interesting meeting. It was kind of, it kind of said for public input, but it really wasn't. It was for their output.
Well said.
They more or less said this is what it is, and you know, and just gladly take your comments, but ain't changing anything. But they'll be on record. But anyways, so after we had that last night, it brought up some questions for us as trustees. People that may not know, they're going to go to 4 hours. In their office, or their post office hours will be 12:15 to 4:15 during the week, and 7:45 to 11:30 on Saturday. Saturday hours don't change. But what they're going to do is they're going to put outside post office boxes. Now, they're going to be to the east side of the building on a pad that we're going to put up, and then you can get your mail 24 hours a day. If you have a package, supposedly, that won't fit in there, there will be a couple bigger boxes there. And what they do is they'll put the key in your mailbox for that box and a note or something to tell you that there's a package there, so that you can take the key and open that one and get your package. So it all sounds great, but after we got done talking about it, I got to thinking about it, and I said, now wait a minute. These boxes are going to be there 24 hours a day. Who's going to take care of the snow and that so people can get there 24 hours a day? So today we conversed a little bit back and forth and some notes in that. And one of the things we talked about was heating the cement to keep the snow off of it. But the problem with that is the pad over here will have the snow off. The sidewalk right next to it will be covered with snow. So that didn't seem to work too good. So what we kind of looked at was doing the pad now, and I have looked into doing something like a bus stop shelter, 3-sided on it. And I've got prices right now anywhere from like $4,200 to $7,500 depending on the size. Now, one thing did change a little bit today. Last night, it was kind of indicated that she had to put the mail in on one side, and you took it out on the other side. Well, today I found, and if we did that, then we'd have to look at making sure that if you as a patron had to go around the back, we had to make everything big enough that a wheelchair could get around there, as far as the enclosure. Today I found out, no, these boxes are loaded and unloaded from the same side. So now we no longer have to allow you to get to the back. So now we can bring our enclosure down a little bit. And kind of what we're proposing is a 3-sided, have it open to the building side, and then that would be the side where you are working at. But we're still looking at that, and the other thing I'd like to do, and we don't have to put the enclosure on it right now. The boxes can go up and we can work at this later. But what I'd like to do is these are kit-like things that you buy them, they ship them to you, you put them together, and there it is. I would like to check with some people in the community that do the to see if they could get something up a little cheaper and keep it in the community. So, anyways, the only thing that we really need to take care of is deciding on the pad. And that has to be done because boxes have to be in place by the end of September. And what I was told today, and just so you know, I talked to Bill Anderson. He is in Youngstown, but pretty near everything that I asked him, he had to go to the guy in Cleveland to get an answer, but at least then he stays in the loop. And that's what he asked, is anything that we do. What he has asked is as soon as that pad is done and it's cured long enough and one thing another and ready, they want to put the boxes on it just as soon as possible. Now, I presume that means as soon as the boxes are in and functional, then that's when they'll start using them. Now, I didn't really get a date last night of when their hours are going to change. Did you?
I think it has to do with when Vicky retires, I think. Sometime in September. That's what I heard.
That's the way I kind of picked, but as far as I know, I don't have, they didn't give us a date saying September 3rd, this is what's going to happen. So somewhere along in September, I expect it to happen. So, I think we had talked about that the pad would probably be somewhere from $900 to $1,200 to give us a, and we're going to do the labor. There was some conversation about whether the post office should pay for some of it, but I think we've kind of come to the conclusion that we don't want to get into that argument right now and miss the September date, because I don't want to miss a September date and them say, oh, well, you guys didn't do your part, so we'll just close it. You know, I don't want to take any chances that way. So what I'm suggesting is we make a motion for the $900 to $1,200, and then we can ask them if they'll pay for part of it. Maybe they'll pay for the cement or something like that, but at least we'll get the pad in so that we're not jeopardizing anything there. So,
Sure. Okay, so we'll make a motion.
yeah, for up to $1,200.
Well, is any more discussion before? I think that that pad's got to be built where you have slope to it, the water doesn't come off. We have to make sure that we have a place for that water to drain to. I don't know the numbers of yardage of concrete that is. If it's at 3 yards, is it, what is that's in this plan? I'm looking at the yardage. Because I know if you don't get 5 yards in a truck, they charge you $150, so you might as well.
It was 3 yards concrete, 8 inches of slag for that size, will be 6 tons of slag.
So what I'm getting at is purchasing concrete. We're going to save this amount of money, and we spend $1,200 and we pay $180 sure charge because we didn't use 2 more yards. I'd like to put 2 more yards somewhere on our property, you know what I mean? I would really like to form maybe a sidewalk to that pavilion and then have that for future however we go.
Well, there's 2 places that I can throw out on the table. We have 2 areas that we cut the sidewalk, one where you put the gas service line in at the fire department, and the other side, that sidewalk needs repaired where we ran the electrical line. So that can be repaired with that concrete. And the other concrete we can also use in the electrical line that we put across the blacktop. Because the blacktop was actually, to repair that patch, was almost as much as the concrete.
And that's good information. And what I'm saying, trustees, if we're paying for that, let's not give the money away, let's get
Right,
something for it.
Because what you're saying is to order the minimum amount is, they're going to charge you for the full amount anyway, so we might as well just buy a full truckload and use it
Well,
somewhere
no,
else.
I think they charge you, the minimum's 5 yards, Fred, remember last time we poured?
It's been so long since I bought cement that
I can call
last time I mixed it.
I think it's a 5 yard minimum. I don't know if you know, Larry, you're a Teamster kind of guy, but they put 5 yards is the minimum, and if you use 3, they charge you $160. They don't charge you the full price of the yard. They charge you 2/3 of the price of that. So you're giving away something if you don't use
It's like a
it.
demerge or something, we call it.
Yeah. Light truck LTL they call it or something. But that's all I was thinking. That might be something in this as we prove this
Well, then
money.
I suggest that you find out.
I'll get it tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
And
find
then,
out.
you know, like, that would probably be helpful, especially where EMS pulls out, you know, since we're not going to pave the parking lot this year. That would help out through the winter for, you know, snow plowing around the EMS. I mean,
Where
if you
that
just want to
trench
use
was,
it,
where we have.
Yeah, just
where that trench is.
And I don't
use it there.
care, if you just want to figure in that much extra cement, go ahead. You know,
Well, I think it would be safe if we approved maybe $1,500 for the whole project, I'm saying. That would cover the extra cement and,
Yeah.
Then I'll get those numbers tomorrow morning.
yeah. Well, I mean, we know how it works. It's-
After I'm done with that, I'll get on the phone and I'll get some hard numbers and
by the
I
time
can email those to you.
Another
Yeah,
2
I know
or
what
3.
you're saying.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And what I'll do is I'll also measure the trench that we ran the electrical line. I mean, how much concrete would we need to, you know, dig some out the 304 and, you know, put a cap on that for the winter. Because then, when you do pave the parking lot, they can grind it down. Yeah, they'll grind it, make it, at least it'll be good for the winter. So I'll calculate all that, I'll call the cement company, I'll get a hard number, and I'll email everybody on that tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Is that-
And based on the conversation, Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve $1,600 to do the concrete portion of this in the first phase.
Okay, I'll second the $1,600 motion for concrete.
Trustee Spellman?
Yes.
Trustee Toman?
Yes,
Trustee Houston, yes.
that's concrete and miscellaneous supplies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rebar.
Rebar.
Rebar goes expected.
For the project, that's total for the project.
Forms.
Yeah.
I would make a suggestion that you might want to touch base with this Bill Anderson, and when you get it dug out and before you cement it, and you've got the rebar, give him the option of coming out and looking at it. Just being a, you know, if he says, no, I don't need to, that's fine, but he's been given the option and to come out and give his okay before we pour this.
Can you email me his phone number and I'll
Yeah,
give him a number?
I had it, and I didn't bring it with me.
No, I got it right here.
I've got it on my phone.
After the meeting, I'll get it from there.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well then, announcements. Our next regular meeting will be September 10th, 2014 at 7 p.m. here. Anybody else have anything on the agenda or any business?
No, I would like to, my little thing, can I do it?
You want to do that now?
Is this a good time now?
Good time?
Okay. I just said, it's just something little, it's for the fire department. So come on up. It's just something little that we noticed was neglected. You gonna guess what this is? You can tell by the look, can't you? Yeah, but you're afraid to open it. Okay, just something that I put together that had done because.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, okay, we got a picture. Ex-Fire Chief Mike happens to be here, so come on up, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Come on. But it's updated with all
Well,
the,
thank you.
right up to the current. Chief,
Awesome.
there's room for more.
There it is, that's right. Nobody filled anything.
That means you can be replaced.
That's right.
You guys are-
Okay, well, my wife's gonna get a picture of us. Get a picture.
Well, we hope it'll come out real quick.
Chiefs.
Okay. Well, here, this was hanging in the hall. I don't know if you want to put it back there.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you very much.
Well overdue.
Okay. For the good of the order. Barbone, Ms. Barbone, anything that you'd like to speak up on?
We have good of the order.
Good of the order.
Yeah, this is.
It's your turn to speak, if you want to say anything. Mike?
No.
Rebecca? Shelley?
No.
Jim?
Couple questions.
Sure.
What's the status of the audit?
We haven't had no
Limbo.
communication.
Okay, because in the minutes it said you were waiting for litigation letter from Attorney Jim Matthews.
Which was sent, the second copy was sent to him, and I've heard nothing since that point.
So the audit is held up pending hearing.
The audit is
No,
finished.
not
Oh, the audit
necessarily.
finished?
It's, yeah, I was told, I followed up and asked about it, and it's like, step one is done and now it's being reviewed. And she told me that it was so backed up that she didn't know when we'd get it.
So the audit's almost finished.
Well, I talked to Dolly Bennett at our Otarma meeting, and I don't remember when they had their audit, but it was back February, March,
It was beginning of the year.
and she just now got the report. So don't look for it I wouldn't look for it for another 2 months, to be honest with you. Don't ask me why, but that's just, And I tried to pry out of her, well, you know, was it a good audit? And she says, I can't tell you anything.
That litigation was just one little piece of component of it. The litigation didn't hold up anything. It was just one of the things the auditor's seen that we needed proof of, that it wasn't being, that's all.
Okay, so hurry up and wait. Okay. Now, the second item, it's a request I have made in the past, but concerning the financial report every month. Now, last month it was reported $921,105.36. And tonight it's reported $920,935.71. And there's only two more little things that would satisfy what I want, and that is the income for the month and the expense for the month. And it would be really great if every month we would have a sheet, prior balance, income, expenses, present balance, a financial report. You got two of the components here, last month's balance and this month's balance. The only thing missing is income and expenses.
I will PDF you the reports I send the trustees.
No,
No,
I'm talking about one that the average citizen comes to the meeting and they can see what the prior month's balance is, the income, expense, and what the present month. It just sounds like you can do it because you got the bottom line for last month and the bottom line for this month. The only thing missing is income and expense to get the number.
First off, Jim, the income that I report to the trustees is as of the end of July, because what I report tonight was this morning's bank balance. Now, I've not gotten the bank statement. I just got it today for July. I did not have to take the time to put any of the EMS deposits that came online.
You're not asking for that, just the
Well,
simple
it's not going
missing,
to balance, is what I'm
the
telling
missing
you.
components to get these numbers, that's all. Income and expense to get this number and report it.
And you know, I spoke to the auditor when we were pulling data together for the audit, and I told her what you had requested of me. And she said that I was to give you the reports that were available through the machine. I am not required to set up a separate spreadsheet. And what I'm telling you is that's not going to balance with what I reported tonight, because there's income that is direct deposited that I don't necessarily know what it is.
The only thing I would be interested in is the income and the expense to get this number. That's all.
That's what I'm trying to
But
explain.
that's what she's trying to explain to you, Jim. Right now, the number that she reported tonight is what our balance is, period.
Okay.
All right? But she don't have all of the other numbers to get that as of tonight. She
You're
can do it, she could do it, give you a balance at the beginning of July, or say the end of June to the end of July, and show you income and outcome, income and expense.
You know what you're almost telling me is that the balance tonight is an educated guess.
No,
No,
it's exactly
it's
what's in
not.
the bank.
It's what's in the bank.
Good. Then exactly what was the income and exactly what was the expense to get this that's
You're never
exactly in the bank. There was more expenses and less income this month.
Yes, because
Okay.
the
I mean,
taxes...
that's the way things go. Some months more, some months less.
The tax collection has just begun for the second half of the year.
We can get you a report that covers you from the end of one month to the end of next month.
Yeah.
But that may not be exactly the numbers that she's going to read at the meeting.
That's fine. But the
If that
numbers
will
you get,
satisfy you,
there's
we will
an
get you
income
that.
and that would be satisfactory.
Because the reports that she gives us, that's exactly what those are.
The only numbers that I'm looking for is how you got to this balance. The
Okay.
I called the
expense
bank.
And the,
I emailed the lady at the bank every Monday or Tuesday prior to the monthly meeting. And on Wednesday morning, she emails me the numbers. I add them together and that's what I report.
I know it's not exactly what you want to hear, but I also know exactly what she's talking about, is she don't have everything put through the books yet.
Sometimes I don't have those bank statements when we have a meeting because they haven't been issued.
We will get you something by the end of next month and let you look at
I'll
it.
PDF him exactly what I sent, the 3 reports I sent you.
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to put that into a concise report.
How are we going to do that?
Make a quick little spreadsheet.
see, the reason why this sounds a little gobbledygook is because I know when I get a bank statement from my checkbook that the number they give me is really not the one, because there's outstanding checks or there's money that came in before they totaled up their numbers. But somehow I live through that and find out what I have at the end of the month.
And so do we.
Even if the bank doesn't give me the correct figure because there's outstanding checks.
Well, then, I have a question for the trustees. Rather than her getting the balance as of this morning, let's start and give the balance as of the end of the month.
The balance this morning is probably an irrelevant number because
Can you do that?
I think what
Instead of
Jim's
that,
saying,
give
he would like
us
to
a balance
see.
at the end of the month and show the income and the outcome?
So you want the last day of the month, you want the bank balance.
The bank balance and then your income?
But you're still going to have outstanding checks.
I think what he's interested in seeing more is on a monthly basis, what we started with, what we ended up with, what came in and what went out.
Yes.
That's all.
Just like
So
On a
so if we
monthly
take-
basis, not today's basis, monthly.
If we take those reports that you put out and simply, you have a balance that you started with, say, August 1st,
Okay?
and you show, we get the report that shows income, receipts, and we get a report showing expenses out. So you just take those and you make a quick little start this month, income, outcome, balance at the end of the month.
And it's not necessarily still going to balance because you may have outstanding.
No, but at the end, but then the following month, what you ended with, you should start with
Yes.
and
I know
continue
how to do
on.
a bank rec.
All right, that's all. I think that would end up taking care of all of the gobbledygook, as you said. If we just start, and instead of getting the balance as of this morning,
Yeah, I think that's an irrelevant number.
right, we will get a balance at the end of the month. The last day of the month, do your report and get the balance from the bank, and
income
Well, it's only
expense
relevant.
balance.
Yeah, it's only relevant with the rest of them.
right. We'll try that,
We'll try it.
and I would suggest at the end of August, let the trustees look at it, and if we have any questions or see anything before we email it to anybody else. Would you go along with that?
I would. Just like, while we're on the financial side.
So you want me to put this in the form of a spreadsheet now?
You get me the numbers, I'll take care of the spreadsheet. Well, the only reason I want it in a spreadsheet is because then the next month, it'll automatically do all the addition and subtraction. You won't have to sit here with a calculator and go like this, because the spreadsheet's going to do all your adding and subtracting for
Put
you.
formulas in it,
Yes,
bingo.
that's why I use a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a good mathematician then.
Excel does wonders.
Yes. Okay?
Good. Thank you.
All right. Brian, anything else?
Have we heard anything as far as paving of Gulf from OE?
We did get to talk to David Turner from First Energy, and talked about the Ruma, and he talked about there would be some repairs on that road. We didn't get into the details. We asked him to be, kind of let us know ahead of time and understand, just kind of even suggestions to him, the way that they did this. The Ruma, when they talked, I think Fred cornered him in February, we were in a meeting, talked about this Ruma. They talked about this being open-ended at the end. They would make the repairs at the end when the construction was done. And all David Turner was saying is, yeah, there's a commitment, we're going to make some repairs up there, but it still didn't have a closed end to it, like specifically what they were going to do.
I know they're hauling all the swamp pads and stuff out of there, and the road's getting...
Right. And what Mahoney kind of did, waived, Brian, up in your area, they waived this frost rule, right, Fred, that at a certain time the county road, the weight limits, because of those roads were really delicate and not up to standard. But they had a frost rule, they waived that, knowing that they'd tear them all up, and they would make all needed repairs at the end of it. David didn't give us a thing saying, well, we're going to spend, we're going to pave the whole thing 4 inches. He didn't say anything like that, and didn't say a date, did he?
Well, I talked to the county, the engineer's office, and they said it's on the list to pave from Palmyra to the power lines on your road, okay? And I don't know why that piece hasn't been done yet, and they're getting ready to put...
They're still hauling.
If they're still hauling, that's probably they're waiting. And they're getting ready to put the second coat on everything else pretty soon. So.
I think the only reason that they paved some of the roads ahead of time was the fact that people just started complaining so much, and I think the county engineer got tired of hearing about it.
I only have 2 neighbors.
No, what I'm saying is I think that's the reason Berlin Station Road got done, and part of Palmyra is, I think the county engineers got so much heat, and they worked with them and said they decided, let's get it done now rather than wait until the end. Why that section of Galt Road didn't get done, I don't know.
Maybe because they're still actively...
And you could be in Miss Road neighborhood, and they paved the road, but there's water coming up through the road in the spring right now, right? And I'm telling you, one thing about David Turner, he assured, David did assure that there were going to be activity on that, and he said that to it. He actually said, I think he took your business card or something, he said he would call us.
I was just curious. I mean, it's getting worse, but I don't know what they'll do with the roads. I mean, they're breaking up the side, the berm's pretty good, and then with the rains we've had, it's all getting washed down the ditches. I don't know if
Well, the county engineer has already told them that, and he told us, that it may be the fact that they have to go and take it all the way down and start from scratch with new base.
Now the ditch will need cleaned out too, because there's
Well,
roads in the ditch.
And the county engineer, when we met with him, when we talked about this, told us that if the county deems that necessary, then that is what they'll have to do. They will have to literally come in there and tear that whole road out, put new base in, and build it back up.
And one more thing to add to that, Brian, is that there's some property owners that had a complaint in that area, and the county's taking a position, they have to maintain a ditch, and nobody ever put a culvert under their driveway. Now that water went over that road, county tried to remediate that.
Farther down.
Yeah, up the road from you, as we talk out this way, but that county truck was trying to scrape all that ice off that road, and it wound up taking a tree out and getting in the ditch. Wonder you guys didn't get a call on that, because I guess the guy had chest pain from the seatbelt, because that tree stopped him, but they had a big snowfall. That's an area that I think that they would be foolish not to pave all the way to Kirk Road, because of just how bad that is by the Grahams up there.
I think the county engineer is trying to go after them to pave the whole road too, because they've been up there quite a bit. But I just wonder when the paving...
And that was something that we kind of asked among ourselves, why the county don't, when when they're going to pay for this far,
Half the road.
Yeah.
you know, why don't the county say, well, how much are you going to charge us to do the rest? Because we've seen these guys, they do the work in half of the time that it takes the county or somebody else to do it. I mean,
It's done right.
and it's done good, and there's no messing around. I mean, you know they're getting paid by the job, so they're going to get her done, you know. But
And look at the guy up here saying nothing the whole night. He's smiling. He had his road paved before you did. Wayne.
anything else, Brian?
Thank you.
Teddy?
Beth Stubbs stopped me wanting to know about using the ball fields August 31st for the girls' softball practice. I told her to get hold of Artie, so hope you're finding that Artie. She'll be contacting
Well, we've all, when baseball's in session, the kind of, they've had 2 contact people to the use of that thing. We're not going to be field coordinator and park activity director, but certainly any of us trustees have our number anywhere. We would really take the position that's underused and people could use it more. That would
Yeah,
be.
it's like one of our girls' the softball team needs a place to practice, so.
The only thing that we have to make sure is that they have the hold harmless
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah, I told her to get a hold of you, Artie,
Yeah,
so.
as long as that's signed, why, I don't care.
Yeah.
I figured you had the free time.
He does.
Anything else, Bob? Is that it, Teddy? Matt, anything? Larry?
Last but not least, and I was going to be speechless, but Mr. Tripp brought something up.
Okay, fire away.
And since Lee Stanstrom isn't here to try to tell you how to do your job again, Mr. Tripp here is trying to tell the physical officer and you guys what he wants. All 4 of you are in position of elected officers and officials to run our township.
Yep.
If you're going to entertain every person walking off the street here on how you should do your job, shame on you. I've been coming to these meetings for 30 years plus. I may have criticized the people sitting up there. I may have given you input, but I've never once ever tried to tell you, any of you, how to do your job.
Well, and in all defense, I did not see it as him trying to tell us how to do the job. He's asking for some information, and he's asking for it a certain way, and I would try to accommodate anybody that asks for information.
I think so. Go on.
I don't see that as him trying to tell us to do our job. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just see it as him asking for some information as much as anybody else. And we're not going to bend over backwards, but if we can do something relatively simple that helps somebody, I'm all for that.
Simplification is one thing, but like I said, you all got elected to do your job. You all know the figures. A simple explanation was offered to him, and he wasn't satisfied, okay? And whatever you do, I understood it completely. You're still not going to have the figures at the end, no matter what time of the month you gather everything, to balance out.
Well, we will try this, and if we can relatively simply get the answers for him, fine. If that doesn't satisfy him, well, then maybe we'll have to do something else, or if it gets too complicated, then we're not going to do it. But I will try my very best to get anybody any information that they ask for. That's part of being a trustee.
And I think that's a well thing said, because one of the things that's the main thing that all of us as elected officials understand: public record requests, the sunshine laws, transparency, open disclosure. Those things are paramount. The defense of Karen Little, to work in that UAN system, it's not easy. It's complicated. You print out, you hit a button, and you print out 38 sheets. It's a treasure hunt sometimes, and believe me, government designed these things. Yeah, government designed these sheets, and that makes it hard to understand. We know that too. Something that Jim would think was asking for is something easier to understand. So we'd all want that, but
we'll try it.
With government involved, it's tough, but we are obligated to do those things.
We will try it.
We'll try.
That's all I'm committing to right now, is we will try.
That's all I can ask.
But I thank you for your input.
You're welcome.
Your input although sometimes maybe we don't agree with you, we do value your input as much as anybody else's.
What makes the world go round.
That's right, and that's what we're sitting here for, is to listen. Anybody else have anything?
No, Chair, I did have one question. Has anybody talked to ODOT lately? We've had a couple projects that, and I haven't here lately,
In what respect?
you know, they closed 45, closed 224, closed, they never seem to get it right, but this project over here, did you hear anything on that, Fred, Bob, anything?
It's done, the one on 45?
Yeah.
Done.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they're done, is it gonna continue down through
Well,
there?
they're over and they're doing a lot of them, but I don't think there's any other plan for around here.
I
You
don't
didn't get
believe
any-
so.
We didn't get any notifications there, okay.
No. We got notified about that one and about the one up here.
Correct.
They
And
did
I-
it pretty quick and,
The
And
like they worked
you
at
can,
night.
you can tell again, it's not state workers doing it.
Well, you know what, Fred,
In 3
this goes back to a story, that when we don't hear those things, one time they zoned off the school and the fire department. Nobody was allowed in or out, and we could talk about going down roads that they have zoned off, but they had the school zoned in and the fire department zoned in. They had it barricaded.
Yeah.
They put up barricade while school was in, and the fire department with no notification. Remember that, Chief?
Yep, I do.
Talk about,
It would be nice if they would notify the emergency departments whenever those roads are closed or they're gonna be closed, because it was like word of mouth from people driving around.
When did you get that little notice?
Well, somebody mentioned something to me about it, so I went searching on the ODOT site. And
Oh, you searched it, they didn't send it to
No,
you?
and I printed it out, that's why I stuck it on your door.
Yeah.
And put it in the post office and put it in the fire hall, for...
then with your permission, Chair, and Bob, I'll call, ask the Canfield if they would
Yeah,
include
that's what I was just gonna say.
include us a little
We
bit
need
more.
to get a hold of
Sure.
Canfield and see what they can tell us.
Yeah. They did have those meetings 2 years ago, but I've seen a failure here lately that, you guys need to be part of that,
I will say one thing about the people that work on them, though. I will give them an A+. They were there until 10 o'clock at night, one night working, and they do get it done. They said it was going to be shut over the weekend, and that's all it was.
Sunday morning was open.
Yeah, so I will say that,
It took less time to do that than it did to get a tree off a power line. On Paul Meyer.
absolutely right.
That's because, well, I won't say it. Go ahead. We're on camera.
Anything else, anybody? Thanks for a wonderful meeting. I enjoy coming when they're nice and quiet like they have been lately. I hope they stay that way. I don't want to stop anybody from talking, but I do enjoy when we're just talking and not yelling and screaming at each other.
There we go.
So I do want to comment on that.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the August 13th meeting.
I'll second the motion.
Maybe it's because the people aren't here tonight. You're talking about.
I'm not saying anything. All I'm
See you later,
saying
Larry.
is